Even in your hardest moments, when the weight on your chest feels heavier than your own breath and the silence around you seems louder than any noise, there is still something inside you that refuses to disappear. That quiet whisper within your heart, that gentle pull toward tomorrow, that small but steady belief that things will not always feel this way, that is hope. You may not always recognize it, especially when you're tired, especially when disappointment has visited you more than once, especially when progress feels slow and unseen. But hope has never left you. It has been there in the way you keep waking up and trying again. It has been there in the way you still imagine a better version of your life even when current circumstances do not match that vision. It has been there in the way you choose not to close your heart completely, even after it has been bruised by experience. There were nights when you questioned your strength, when you wondered how much longer you could carry the pressure, when you felt as though no one fully understood the battles you were fighting internally. Yet even in those moments, you did not completely surrender. You may have slowed down. You may have cried. You may have doubted. But you did not extinguish the small flame within you. That flame is hope. It is not loud. It does not shout promises of instant change. It simply stays. It reminds you that this chapter is not the entire story. It reminds you that seasons shift, that growth takes time, that clarity often follows confusion. Hope quietly tells you that what feels permanent today may only be temporary. Sometimes your hardest moments were not dramatic events but quiet struggles, overthinking. At night, comparing yourself to others, feeling behind in life, wondering if you made the right decisions. Those thoughts can be exhausting. They can drain your confidence and blur your direction. But even there, hope exists. It appears in your willingness to reflect instead of giving up. It appears in your desire to improve rather than remain stuck. It appears in the way you still seek meaning, still look for purpose, still believe that something greater can unfold from where you stand now. You have grown more than you realize. The challenges that once overwhelmed you no longer have the same power. You respond differently now. You pause before reacting. You evaluate before deciding. You protect your peace more carefully. That is growth. And growth itself is evidence that better days are possible. If you can evolve through difficulty, then you can rise beyond it. If you can learn from setbacks, then setbacks lose their ability to define you. Hope strengthens when you recognize your progress. It becomes more than a feeling, it becomes a quiet confidence built on experience. There will always be moments when life feels uncertain. That uncertainty does not mean you are failing. It means you are still in motion. Stability is not the absence of challenge, it is the ability to remain steady while challenges pass through your life. You are developing that steadiness. You are learning to separate temporary emotions from permanent decisions. You are learning that one difficult week does not cancel years of effort. You are learning that comparison steals joy, while gratitude restores it. Every time you choose gratitude for what you still have, hope grows stronger. Better days are ahead not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because you are becoming wiser. You are building resilience. You are gaining clarity about what truly matters. Live within you. There are moments in life when everything feels uncertain, when the road ahead looks blurred and the weight of responsibility presses against your shoulders in a way that makes you question how much more you can carry. In those moments, it is easy to believe that you are alone in your struggle, that no one truly sees the silent battles you fight within your own mind. Yet even there, beneath the layers of doubt and fatigue, something steady remains inside you. That steady presence is hope. It does not always feel powerful. Sometimes it is just a small, quiet belief that refuses to disappear. It whispers that this season is not permanent, that this discomfort is shaping you rather than defeating you, that even if today feels overwhelming, tomorrow holds possibility. You have already survived days that once seemed impossible. Think back to times when you felt completely unsure about your direction, when you feared making the wrong decision, when circumstances felt unfair or confusing. You are still here. You kept going. You adjusted. You learned. You adapted. That is not accidental. That is resilience. And resilience is fueled by hope. Even when you did not consciously call it hope, it was there guiding you. It was the reason you searched for solutions instead of surrendering. It was the reason you chose reflection over recklessness. It was the reason you did not allow one setback to define your entire identity. Sometimes your hardest moments were not dramatic events but internal struggles that no one else could see. Overthinking late at night. Questioning your worth. Wondering if you were moving too slowly compared to others. Feeling pressure to meet expectations while still trying to understand your own desires. Those internal battles can be exhausting because they do not come with applause or recognition. Yet even in those silent struggles, hope remained. It showed up in your desire to improve. It showed up in your willingness to learn. It showed up in your decision to keep striving for something better rather than settling for frustration. Hope also exists in the way you still dream. Even after disappointment, you still imagine a future where things feel lighter, where stability replaces stress, where clarity replaces confusion. That imagination is not foolish optimism. It is evidence that your spirit is still alive. A person without hope stops imagining. A person without hope stops trying. But you continue to envision growth. You continue to seek meaning. That alone shows strength beyond what you often give yourself credit for. There have been times when progress felt invisible. You worked quietly. You tried to make better decisions. You practiced patience when impatience would have been easier. You improved small habits that no one else noticed. Growth is often like that. It happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible externally. Just because results are not immediate does not mean effort is wasted. Every disciplined choice you make is shaping your future. Every moment you choose understanding over anger strengthens your character. Every time you resist negativity, you reinforce your inner stability. Better days are ahead not because life suddenly becomes perfect but because you are becoming wiser. Wisdom changes how you interpret challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as proof of failure, you begin to see them as preparation. Instead of interpreting delays as rejection, you start recognizing them as refinement. This shift in perspective transforms your experience. When you believe that growth is still happening, even in discomfort, hope deepens. It becomes more than a feeling, it becomes a mindset. Your mindset matters more than circumstances. Circumstances fluctuate. They rise and fall. They shift unexpectedly. But your mindset determines how you respond. And your response shapes your direction. You are learning to pause before reacting. You are learning to separate temporary emotion from long-term truth. That maturity protects your peace. It prevents you from making decisions that you might regret later. It allows you to remain steady even when others around you feel unsettled. There is also strength in the way you are learning to appreciate small progress. Maybe your life has not transformed dramatically overnight. Maybe you are still working toward financial stability, emotional balance, or clearer direction. But you are not where you once were. You have gained experience. You have gained awareness. You have gained patience. These gains are real. They are foundational. Large transformations are built on small consistent improvements. You are in the process of building something sustainable rather than temporary. Even when you feel tired, hope reminds you that rest is allowed but quitting is not required. You can pause without surrendering. You can recharge without abandoning your goals. There is wisdom in understanding that growth is not linear. Some days feel strong and productive. Other days feel slow and uncertain. That rhythm is natural. What matters is that you continue returning to your purpose. You continue choosing growth over stagnation. Hope also protects your heart from becoming hardened by disappointment. You have experienced moments that could have made you bitter. Yet you are still open to connection. You still believe in meaningful relationships. You still value kindness. That openness reflects courage. It is easy to close off after pain. It takes strength to remain open while becoming wiser. You are learning to balance vulnerability with boundaries. That balance will serve you in every relationship you build moving forward. Better days are ahead because you are evolving. You are becoming more intentional with your time. You are becoming more thoughtful with your energy. You are more aware of what aligns with your values and what does not. This clarity will guide your decisions. And wise decisions compound over time. The future you desire is not built in one moment. It is built through repeated choices that align with who you are becoming. Even now, as you reflect on your journey, notice that there is still a part of you that believes improvement is possible. That belief is not accidental. It is rooted in experience. You have seen yourself overcome before. You have witnessed your own adaptability. You have watched yourself grow stronger through situations that once felt overwhelming. That history is evidence. And evidence strengthens hope. Hold on to that hope. Nurture it with gratitude for how far you have come. Protect it by avoiding comparisons that distort your perception. Strengthen it by focusing on consistent action rather than immediate results. The presence of hope within you is proof that your story is still unfolding. The fact that you continue striving means your journey is far from finished. Even in your hardest moments, hope remains alive in your heart, guiding you quietly toward the better days that are steadily approaching. Heavy, moments where progress seemed invisible, yet you did not completely stop. You slowed down perhaps, you questioned, you reflected, but you did not fully surrender. That quiet perseverance is proof of something powerful living inside you. Hope does not always shout encouragement, sometimes it simply keeps you from giving up entirely. It keeps you thinking about possibilities even when current circumstances feel limiting. It keeps you imagining improvement even when today feels uncertain. That internal spark is not random. It is the foundation of every transformation you will ever experience. Your hardest moments have shaped you more than your easiest ones. When life flows smoothly, growth often happens subtly, but when challenges arise, growth becomes intentional. You are forced to examine your reactions, your beliefs, your habits, your mindset. You learn where you are strong and where you need refinement. You become aware of patterns that once operated unconsciously. That awareness is a gift, even when it arrives through discomfort. You may not have chosen certain challenges, but you chose how to respond to them. Each time you responded with reflection instead of impulsiveness, you strengthened your character. Each time you chose patience over frustration, you reinforced emotional maturity. Each time you decided to keep improving instead of blaming circumstances, you built resilience that cannot be easily shaken. There were days when you felt like you were only surviving, not thriving. You fulfilled responsibilities because you had to, not because you felt inspired. You maintained discipline even when motivation felt distant. You kept commitments even when doubt whispered that your efforts were unnoticed. That consistency matters more than sudden bursts of inspiration. Consistency creates stability. Stability creates progress. Progress creates confidence. And confidence deepens hope. The cycle may feel slow, but it is steady. You are building something sustainable rather than temporary. That sustainability will support you in seasons where opportunities expand and responsibilities increase. It is important to recognize that better days ahead do not erase the value of current lessons. The difficulties you face now are shaping your perception. They are teaching you discernment, helping you recognize what aligns with your values and what does not. You are learning to protect your energy. You are learning that not every situation requires your emotional investment. You are becoming selective with your focus. That selectivity strengthens your direction. When you know what truly matters, distractions lose power. Your growth becomes intentional rather than reactive. This shift transforms the way you move through life. You become less controlled by external chaos and more guided by internal clarity. Hope also strengthens your ability to envision a future that feels aligned with who you are becoming. Even after setbacks, you still picture stability, fulfillment, and peace. That vision is not unrealistic optimism. It is your mind preparing you for growth. The future you imagine influences the actions you take today. When you believe improvement is possible, you make choices that align with that belief. You invest time in learning. You adjust habits. You seek environments that encourage growth rather than stagnation. That alignment between belief and action gradually reshapes your reality. Small shifts compound into significant transformation. There may have been moments when comparison tempted you to feel behind. You looked at others and questioned your pace. But growth is not a race, it is a personal evolution. Your timeline reflects your experiences, your lessons, your readiness. Comparing timelines ignores context. You are not meant to replicate someone else's journey. You are meant to refine your own. The path you walk is developing qualities uniquely suited to your future responsibilities. When you trust that process, anxiety decreases. You stop measuring progress by speed and start measuring it by depth. Depth matters more than pace because depth ensures durability. In the quiet spaces of reflection, you may realize that your mindset has matured. Situations that once triggered strong emotional reactions now invite calmer responses. Conversations that once caused tension now invite thoughtful boundaries. This growth may feel subtle, but it is powerful. Emotional regulation strengthens relationships and preserves peace. It allows you to navigate complexity without losing yourself. That stability will support you in future opportunities where pressure increases. You are being prepared gradually, layer by layer, so that when expansion arrives, you can handle it with wisdom rather than overwhelm. Better days ahead are not defined by perfection but by alignment. Alignment occurs when your actions match your values, when your habits support your goals, when your relationships encourage growth. You are moving toward that alignment. It may not be complete yet, but you are aware of it. Awareness changes everything. Once you see areas that need adjustment, you cannot remain unaware. You begin refining gradually. Each refinement strengthens your foundation. A strong foundation ensures that future success does not feel unstable. Even when uncertainty remains, notice that you continue searching for improvement. You read, reflect, listen, learn. You seek understanding instead of remaining stagnant. That curiosity keeps your hope alive. It reminds you that knowledge expands possibilities. The more you learn about yourself and the world around you, the more capable you feel. Capability builds confidence. Confidence reinforces hope. And hope fuels perseverance. This cycle supports your forward movement even when external progress appears slow. Your hardest moments have also deepened your empathy. When you struggle, you understand others more fully. You become less judgmental and more compassionate. That compassion enriches your relationships. It strengthens trust. It fosters connection. Connection creates support. Support makes difficult seasons more manageable. Growth is not only about achievement, it is about character. Your character is strengthening through every lesson you endure. That character will shape the quality of your future success. There will still be challenges ahead. Life does not remove obstacles entirely. But the difference is that you are evolving into someone who can handle them with steadiness. You are building resilience through repetition of effort. You are cultivating patience through delayed results. You are developing confidence through small consistent victories. These qualities are invisible investments that will pay visible dividends later. When opportunity meets preparation, transformation feels natural rather than overwhelming. Hold on to the truth that hope within you is not fragile. It has survived previous disappointments. It has endured confusion. It has remained present even when motivation faded. That resilience proves that hope is rooted deeply in your identity. It is part of who you are. As long as that hope remains, growth remains possible. As long as growth remains possible, better days remain ahead. You are not standing still, you are evolving. You are not defeated, you are developing. And even in your hardest moments, hope continues to live within your heart, guiding you steadily toward the brighter, more aligned future that is forming step by step through your perseverance. There are times when the weight you carry feels invisible to everyone except you. You smile in front of others, you fulfill responsibilities, you show up where you are needed, yet inside there is a quiet exhaustion that no one fully understands. In those moments it may seem as if strength is slipping away, but what you often fail to see is that endurance itself is strength. The fact that you continue to stand, continue to think, continue to search for solutions instead of surrendering to negativity proves that something powerful is still alive within you. That power is hope. It is not dramatic or loud. It does not always come with immediate relief. Sometimes it is simply the decision to try again tomorrow. Sometimes it is the choice to breathe deeply instead of reacting impulsively. Sometimes it is the quiet belief that this chapter is shaping you rather than breaking you. And that belief, no matter how small it feels, is enough to carry you forward. You have faced moments where outcomes did not match expectations, where effort did not produce instant reward, where patience felt stretched thin. In those seasons, it is natural to question whether progress is truly happening. But growth often unfolds beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. Just as roots grow deep underground before a tree rises tall, your resilience has been strengthening quietly. Every time you chose discipline over distraction, you strengthened your focus. Every time you chose reflection over blame, you strengthened your wisdom. Every time you chose to keep moving rather than quitting, you strengthened your character. These strengths may not always be applauded by others, but they are transforming you from within. There were nights when doubt tried to convince you that you were falling behind. You compared your journey to others, measuring milestones without understanding context. Yet what you may not have realized is that your path is uniquely designed around your lessons, your experiences, your readiness. Comparison distorts perspective because it ignores depth. Someone else's visible progress may not reflect their internal preparation, just as your quiet preparation may not yet reflect visible achievement. You are building foundations. And strong foundations take time. When your next opportunity arrives, it will rest on the discipline, patience, and awareness you have been cultivating during this quiet season. Hope also lives in your ability to imagine a future that feels brighter than your present. Even when current circumstances feel heavy, you still envision stability, peace, growth, and fulfillment. That vision matters. It influences your actions more than you realize. When you believe better days are possible, you behave differently. You become more intentional. You guard your energy. You seek improvement rather than distraction. You learn instead of complaining. These subtle behavioral shifts compound over time. Small improvements repeated consistently create transformation that feels almost sudden, even though it was built slowly. In your hardest moments, you may have felt alone, as if no one truly saw your effort. But solitude often clarifies identity. It strips away external noise and reveals what genuinely matters to you. In those quiet spaces, you discovered values that guide your decisions. You recognized habits that no longer serve you. You began refining your priorities. That refinement is powerful because it aligns your future with authenticity rather than pressure. When you act from alignment, life feels lighter even if challenges remain. You move with purpose rather than confusion. There is also growth in the way you handle disappointment now compared to before. Situations that once would have shattered your confidence now invite reflection. Conversations that once would have triggered immediate reaction now invite pause. This shift demonstrates maturity. Emotional control is not suppression, it is awareness. It allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. That awareness protects your peace and strengthens relationships. It ensures that temporary emotion does not dictate long-term decisions. Better days ahead do not promise a life without difficulty. Instead, they promise a stronger version of you who can navigate difficulty with clarity. The challenges you face now are equipping you. They are teaching adaptability. They are strengthening problem-solving skills. They are building patience. When the next level of responsibility or opportunity appears, you will not feel overwhelmed because you have already developed the capacity to manage complexity. Capacity is built through repetition of effort, through moments when quitting would have been easier but continuing felt more aligned. There have been instances where progress felt slow, almost stagnant. You questioned whether your efforts mattered. But stagnation is often perception, not reality. Even when external circumstances remain similar, internal evolution may be significant. You are thinking differently. You are prioritizing differently. You are reacting differently. These internal changes eventually reflect externally. Just because the transformation is gradual does not mean it is absent. Gradual growth is sustainable growth. It prevents burnout. It ensures that when change arrives, it remains steady. Hope also protects your heart from bitterness. You have experienced unfairness, yet you are still open to connection. You have felt disappointment, yet you still believe in possibility. That openness is courage. It would be easier to close yourself off, to stop caring deeply, to withdraw from vulnerability. But you continue to engage with life. You continue to invest effort. That investment reflects belief. And belief fuels resilience. Your journey has not been linear. There were advances and setbacks, clarity and confusion, energy and fatigue. That rhythm is natural. Growth rarely follows a straight path. What matters is not perfection but persistence. Each time you return to your goals after distraction, you strengthen discipline. Each time you forgave yourself for mistakes and tried again, you strengthen compassion. These qualities will define your future more than any single achievement. As you move forward, notice that you are less controlled by external approval. You are learning to validate yourself through effort rather than applause. This independence strengthens confidence. It frees you from constant comparison. It allows you to move at your own pace without feeling pressured to perform for others. That internal stability is invaluable. It ensures that your motivation remains steady even when external recognition fluctuates. Even now, while navigating uncertainty, you carry evidence of resilience within you. You have overcome before. You have adapted before. You have rebuilt before. That history matters. It reminds you that current obstacles are not permanent barriers but temporary tests. Each test refines you. Each refinement strengthens you. And each strengthening brings you closer to the better days you envision. Hold on to the awareness that hope is not passive optimism, it is active perseverance. It is the decision to keep improving. It is the commitment to continue learning. It is the belief that your effort is meaningful even when immediate results are not visible. As long as that belief remains, progress remains possible. As long as progress remains possible, transformation remains inevitable. You are not stuck, you are strengthening. You are not behind, you are building. And even in your hardest moments, hope continues to live quietly yet powerfully in your heart, guiding you step by step toward the brighter, more aligned future that is steadily unfolding through your persistence. As you look back on everything you have endured, you begin to realize that your journey has never truly been about avoiding difficulty but about discovering who you are through it. There were chapters where uncertainty dominated your thoughts, where outcomes felt unpredictable, where your confidence felt fragile. Yet even in those chapters, something steady remained inside you. You continued thinking about growth. You continued imagining improvement. You continued believing that life held more than your current struggle. That persistent belief is not accidental, it is the foundation of every step you will take from here forward. Hope is not just a feeling that visits occasionally, it is a force that has quietly accompanied you through every setback, every lesson, every delay. It has been shaping your reactions, influencing your decisions, and guiding your perspective even when you were not consciously aware of it. You may have questioned your strength during moments when exhaustion clouded your clarity. You may have felt frustrated when progress seemed slow or when recognition felt absent. But strength is not measured by constant confidence. It is measured by continuation. It is measured by the fact that you are still striving, still reflecting, still seeking improvement. You did not allow temporary disappointment to define your identity. You did not allow confusion to convince you that you were incapable. Instead, you paused, adjusted, and kept moving. That adaptability is powerful. It proves that you are not rigid, you are evolving. Evolution requires discomfort because growth stretches you beyond familiarity. What feels unfamiliar today may feel natural tomorrow because you are expanding your capacity. There were lessons hidden within the struggles you faced. Some lessons taught patience, showing you that not everything unfolds at the speed you desire. Some lessons taught discernment, helping you recognize what aligns with your values and what does not. Some lessons taught resilience, revealing that you are capable of handling more than you once believed. Each lesson contributed to your development. You may not have appreciated them in the moment, but over time you can see how they refined your mindset. You think more critically. You respond more thoughtfully. You prioritize more intentionally. These internal shifts are evidence of transformation. Even when doubt tried to whisper that you were falling behind, there remained a part of you that believed in eventual progress. That belief influenced your daily choices. You continued learning. You continued adjusting habits. You continued striving for improvement. Those small, consistent efforts are building a future that will feel stable because it is rooted in preparation rather than impulse. Preparation ensures that when opportunity arrives, you will not feel overwhelmed. You will feel ready. Readiness is built quietly through repetition of disciplined action. You have been cultivating that readiness with every intentional choice. Hope also changes how you interpret difficulty. Instead of seeing obstacles as final barriers, you begin to see them as temporary challenges. Instead of viewing delays as rejection, you recognize them as refinement. This perspective does not ignore reality, it strengthens it. It empowers you to focus on what you can control rather than what you cannot. Control lies in your mindset, your effort, your response. And you have been strengthening each of these areas steadily. Even when circumstances remain imperfect, your response has improved. That improvement shifts your entire experience. There were times when solitude felt heavy, when you wished for clearer direction or immediate reassurance. Yet solitude often fosters self-awareness. In quiet moments, you discovered truths about yourself. You identified strengths you once underestimated. You recognized patterns you wanted to change. You clarified values that guide your decisions today. This clarity forms a foundation that external chaos cannot easily disrupt. When you know who you are and what you stand for, external uncertainty loses its power to destabilize you. That stability is not accidental, it was built through reflection and patience. As you move forward, understand that better days ahead do not require perfection today. They require persistence. You do not need to have every answer right now. You only need the willingness to keep learning and improving. Your willingness is already evident. You seek understanding. You evaluate your choices. You remain open to growth. That openness ensures that your development continues. Closed minds stagnate, but yours remains curious. Curiosity invites opportunity. Opportunity invites transformation. The hardships you have endured have also deepened your empathy. You understand struggle in a way that allows you to support others authentically. You respond with compassion rather than judgment. This quality strengthens relationships and creates meaningful connections. Meaningful connections provide support during challenging seasons. Support reinforces resilience. Resilience sustains hope. Everything you are building internally contributes to a stronger external reality. Even now, you may not see the full picture of where your journey leads. That is natural. Clarity often emerges gradually. But the evidence of progress is already present. You are more aware, more disciplined, more thoughtful than you once were. These improvements may feel subtle, but they are significant. Subtle growth compounds. Over time, compounded growth produces visible transformation. What feels incremental today will feel substantial tomorrow. Hold on to the truth that hope within you has endured through every challenge. It has not disappeared despite setbacks. It has not faded despite delays. It has remained steady, guiding you quietly forward. That steadiness is proof that your story is still unfolding with purpose. You are not defined by the hardest moment you faced. You are defined by the strength you demonstrated while facing it. Better days ahead are not distant fantasies, they are the natural result of the mindset and resilience you are cultivating now. Continue trusting your growth. Continue valuing your progress. Continue believing that your effort matters. Because even in your hardest moments, hope has remained alive within your heart, and that living hope is guiding you toward a future shaped by strength, clarity, and the quiet confidence that you have everything within you to create brighter days ahead. If this message truly resonated with you, take a deep breath and comment, "Hope lives in me," as a reminder to yourself that you are stronger than this season. Save this video for the days when you need to hear it again, and subscribe if you're committed to growing, healing, and stepping into the better days that are already forming for you.